Okay, I think we're recording. Okay, so first thing I want to say about these story slides is you get better at them the more you do them. And the one I'm going to show you guys today, I go through and I will randomly like update my numbers, but I basically, when like the seasons going into Christmas, right? So I just go in and change the pictures. So I'll show you guys how to do that too. But um, I get all my story ideas from Lindsay Coggin and Ryan Van Gordon. So basically, I go look at their stories almost every day. And if I like something that I see, what I'll do is I'll take screenshots and then I message message them to myself on Facebook Messenger. And the reason that I do that is that I can open up Messenger on my laptop and then I can work on my Unfold app on my phone. So let me know if you guys have any questions about that because that was a mouthful. But there could be other people too that you like to follow and you love their story slides. I feel like that's been the best way for me to be able to duplicate this kind of stuff. M. Henning also has really awesome story slides. So just make sure that if you're following someone like that, it's someone that inspires you and doesn't make you like peanut butter and jealous, right? So that would be my only recommendation. If I find myself being like envious or jealous, then like I just am going to unfollow them and go follow someone that I feel like is super relatable. So that's the first thing that I do. I'm going to screen share my screen when I'm walking through this. So um, if anything changes or you can't hear me or something, would you just message me on Facebook Messenger because I can't see the chat when I'm sharing my screen for some reason. I probably need to figure that out in my settings. I know that Latanya and Holly had asked me yesterday if I use the paid version of Unfold. I don't know what the heck I'm paying for because I can't even log into my account, but all my projects save on my phone. I'm paying $20 a month. I think when you go to try to upgrade to the pro version, it's like 100. So I don't know exactly what I'm paying for, but I use that. And then I also use Lightroom Mobile. I updated my phone recently and I lost all my presets. So the ones that I'm using right now are like mold cider or something. My recommendation would be if you're using presets for your pictures, stick with the same one for a while so that your social media just really flows. And you're not going from like a filter with a bunch of pinks to like a filter with a bunch of blues. Does that make sense? Okay, I see Latanya shaking her head. So let me know if you guys have questions, just unmute yourself. We are recording, but it's fine. A lot of times people ask for a recording and they don't even watch it. So if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself because I can't see the chat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just screen share. You're probably gonna see messages and emails come through because I don't know how to stop that, but I want to screen share. What am I doing? Oh, screen. Okay, tell me if you guys can see my screen and you can still hear me. If someone could just unmute because I can't see the chat.
We can.
Okay, great. All right, so this is the Lightroom app that I use. I know this isn't what we're talking about today, but I'm gonna just cover it since we're on here. At one point, I had Lightroom set to load all my pictures in that I take on my phone. Now I have it set to just like go through and cherry pick what I want. So let's see, I took these pictures the other day. There's probably some that I haven't filtered yet. Here's one I haven't used yet. So when you have the Lightroom app, that is actually not that great of a picture of me. That's probably why I didn't use it. But when you use the Lightroom app, you load your pictures in and then you can go down to these presets. I have the mulled wine right now as my preset. And I'm usually either using this one or sometimes I use the selfie one because it makes us look a little more tan. And I could probably do a whole separate Zoom, honestly, on how to use Lightroom and how to get your presets loaded, because that's honestly the hardest part. But they also do have presets within the app now too. You can see down here where they've got color. This one's going to give you natural light. So you don't even have to really have, you don't really have to purchase the presets in order to filter your pictures. So just want to go through that for a minute. And then the one thing that I will say about these is that once you apply your preset, you have to click this little check mark up at the top right hand corner. And then for me, at least on my phone, you have to click on this little, I don't even know what you would call this, I guess a less than sign or part of a triangle. You click on that, and then you have to save to your device. And then where it saves on my phone, which is there's a reason that I am going through this process, where it saves on my phone is it's just created its own album within my phone. And that's where I go to grab pictures for my Unfold story slides. So let's just go into Unfold. I was digging around trying to figure out what the heck I'm paying for, because I can't log into my account. But this is the slide that I did yesterday. And I could probably show you in my screenshots where I've taken a screenshot of either, like I said, Lindsay Coggin or Ryan Van Gordon creating something like this. If you guys want their names and you want to follow them, just let me know and I can put that in the chat at the end of the Zoom or message you individually. They both spell their names really weird, and I feel like they're both really relatable. So I don't know. I love their slides. And this version of this has looked different so many different times. Yesterday, I changed pictures to Christmas pictures, and I actually think these pictures are from like 2 years ago. Maybe they're from last year, because we don't even have our Christmas tree up yet. But I wanted to have like a Christmassy theme. I know people going into the holidays are thinking about extra ways to make money. So I'm going to show you exactly where this template is. That'd probably be the best way to start, especially if you're trying to create this while we're on here together. Let's see. Okay, so you're going to go click on this black circle in the bottom right hand corner with the plus sign. And you're going to want to create a story, not just a single post. So you're going to click on the story. And then this is where it's going to give you your different templates. So they have animated templates. I haven't really worked with those yet because I don't know why I haven't worked with them yet. I just haven't. But they have all these different options. So just because I'm showing you what I used for these slides doesn't mean that you can't be creative and do it however you want. I am not very good at being creative. I'm really good at copying what other people do. And that's totally fine. You're going to find that a lot, like in this industry, that if you can be really good at copying what someone else does, you know, whether it's this or the daily IPAs or, you know, whatever, you're going to still find success without trying to like rack your brain on being super creative. So this is the specific template that I'm using, and Unfold is specifically designed for your Facebook and Instagram stories. So see how the template is longer than like a normal picture would be. You want to make sure that when you're creating these for your stories. I wouldn't create these projects and then try to post them on your Instagram or your Facebook feed, because they're going to be too long for anyone to see the full picture, if that makes sense. So I like that effect where it's a picture behind a picture. So I don't know. I also, like I said, I'm really good at copying someone. So this is what this person did. So I did it. I just went in here and found the same template. I know that these people that I follow use these apps because I also stalk their YouTube team trainings, and there's all kinds of resources at your fingertips if you're willing to just kind of like sit down and search for them. So I'm going to go to, you can see up here at the top where it says all media. I'm going to click on Adobe Lightroom, and that's why I was showing you how I use the Lightroom, because it saves all these beautifully filtered pictures in a specific album on my phone. So at any given time, like yesterday, I looked like I look today. Top bun on my head, like, whatever. I want to use a picture where I look pretty and I have makeup on or whatever. So I was like, ooh, I know I've got some great Christmas pictures on here from last year. So bear with me because I have 5 million pictures on my phone. But I just scrolled down, and I guess I probably don't really need to do this for you guys if you don't already have like a, album or whatever, but you can grab, any picture that you've got on your phone that you want to use for today. So let's see, I haven't used this one before. And then just know that you have to go back and grab the same picture again if you want it to mirror. So I probably should have thought about that and just use one at the top, just for the sake of walking you guys through this. And let me know if you guys have any questions so far. Where did that picture go? Oh, that's not the one. Okay. All right, just for the sake of this, I'm just going to grab one at the top. And you can swap these out. So when you're swapping out your pictures, this is actually good to show you guys. So when you're swapping out your pictures, see this little X mark in the top right-hand corner? You just click on that. I could do that here too. And then it'll just let you add it again. And you can select different photos, but I just feel like then it doesn't, like you guys just saw, it doesn't look as cool. Like I feel like that looks cool. So that's how you create these. And we'll do the words in a minute. And if you guys want, I can actually copy and paste my verbiage into a chat. A lot of times what I do when I'm duplicating what someone else has done is I do 2 different things. I will send myself the images on Messenger, and then I'll go through in that same Messenger thread to myself on my laptop, type out the verbiage, because I'm much quicker at typing than I am at texting. And I will type that verbiage out to myself, send it to myself again, and then I can literally copy and paste it into Unfold. Does that make sense? Let me know if you guys need me to repeat anything and like, what in the heck are you saying? It's just all these little things that I've found over time that just like save me time and I can do something like super quick. So, what else was I just gonna say? I just lost my train. Oh, okay. So once you create this, then you know that just like this, your pictures are going to stay the same, right? Just the verbiage is going to change, because you don't want to try to cram all this verbiage into one slide, because your slide pics only stay up for, a short amount of time. So, and you want people, as they're clicking through their stories, for something to catch their attention and for them to be able to like read little snippets at a time. Like I've noticed a lot of emails and things that I get, it's like people, when they're creating these emails, will do like a sentence or 2 at a time. And then they'd press like the return button. I don't know what you would call this, but there's like spacing in between each sentence, right? So it chunks it up instead of it being overwhelming that there's like a giant paragraph on one picture. So what you're going to do when you're creating these next slides. So what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope this is helpful, you guys. So what you're going to do is you go and, okay, just want to make sure I was clicking on the right thing. Click on this bottom right-hand corner, maybe it looks like a pencil. I'm going to click on that. And then you're going to duplicate 1, 2, 3, 4. So you only have to do that original work one time. This took me forever to figure this out. This right here is like the golden nugget of the day that you don't have to keep going in and recreating your picture. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I really want to copy and paste in here, but I also want to show you how to utilize the tools within this app as well. So now we're going to create a text box, and because all of this text is different fonts, you can't really copy and paste the whole thing. I'm not going to copy and paste it all right now, just so that I can show you when you're typing in your own things, how you can change the lettering, how you can space it out, how you can change the colors and all those things. And I can share like all this verbiage with you guys. I basically copied and pasted from whoever I felt inspired by with this, but you can change up your verbiage so that it sounds more like you. You know, and there is a part in here where I'm talking about, you know, how many people we have on our team and our customers and stuff. Make sure that if you're going in and looking in your cloud at these numbers, that you're not feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not there yet, or just feeling any kind of icky way about that. Just try not to like get caught up in comparison. I saw Twin the other day post something in her stories where she's like 30 million in team sales in like 3 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I realized for me, that was like huge because I used to be really, really jealous at that kind of stuff. And it was not a good feeling. Okay, so why did I choose network marketing? And yours doesn't have to say that, but I'm just going to show you how you do this. So you're going to press that little pencil down in the right hand corner again, and then you're going to create a text box. It always just posts in the middle, and that's the font that they give you. So you're going to double click on that, and it's going to pull up. First of all, I'm going to change that white so I don't lose it in my shirt. What happened to it? Okay. And then, oh my gosh, then I'm going to move it down so I can see it. And then I'm going to double click on it again. So this part is a little bit of a process, but I'm going to say why. See, I'm not very good at like texting. Why did I choose? I already know that I'm going to have this be 2 lines. So I'm just going to go behind choose and do the enter button. Okay, so now you can click on the text, and these are the options that they give you. I think if you pay more, you can have more font options, but this is the one. I like this one a lot. I feel like it's still really legible and it's just kind of pretty, but there's tons of other ones and you can use whatever you want. I probably picked that because whoever's story I was copying, that's what they used. And I like to just not be creative, I guess. So some other things in here that I want to show you that it took me a long time to figure out. I thought other people were paying for like an upgraded version and getting different fonts. You'll see sometimes, especially if you follow those people that I was talking about, they'll use this one. And it looks like they're using a different font. So you're going to click on this little A next to a little A. And you'll see there, I'm going to make that bigger too. So this button at the top makes things bigger or smaller. This one spaces out your letters. So this was where I was like, they must be paying for an upgraded font, because then it's not really looking so much like cursive, it's looking more spread out. So you can do that. And then this one I like a lot too when I'm trying to make all my font fit, especially based on like what we're wearing. So you can really space out, or you can have it really close together. So and then you can change the color on the little teardrop looking thing. It even has a picker. So if you're looking at the screen and it says color on the left-hand side, if you click on picker, you can pick your own color. I think there's even one where you can, I don't know how you do it, but you can pick on your own screen to match the colors you have on the screen. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so you just click on eyedrop. So say you've got something in the background, like say this picture, I don't know, and you want to do that for your font. Then you're just gonna move this around. And then in the bottom left-hand corner where there's a circle with a check mark, you're gonna click on that and then it'll change the color. So if you have something in your background that you want your font to match, you could use that. I actually forgot about this feature. Now I want to use it. So any questions about this part? You guys still with me?
Yes, I love hearing every little detail.
Okay, good. I can't see my screen at all. So I'm like, I hope I didn't lose my, like, I'm just sitting here talking to myself and the Zoom disconnected.
No, that would be funny. Like when you're talking away on a phone call and then you're like, hello, hello.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's that. That seems a little big for me right now, but we're just gonna go with it. And then basically just like I go back to my own messenger to see what I'm copying. I'm just gonna, and just know when you're working in Unfold, I think this is really common in graphic design apps. If you leave the project you're working on, it just automatically saves it, which is really nice for people like me that are all over the place. So I'm just gonna go back to this project. What did I say? Simple. I needed a change. Just know that every time you're changing your font, and moving things around on your graphic, you have to create a new um, text box. So we're going to go back to text box. I'm going to just immediately go and turn that white with this picture anyways. Sometimes you might have a picture where it's a lot of white and you want to have your font black just so you can see it when you're working with it. And then, well, this one's really fun too, the impact one. So simple. I like to do the ... but the one I created didn't, or the one I copied didn't actually have that. So I'm going to say that. And then maybe I like make it bigger. Simple. And I could, oh, that's good. This would be good for samples, I think. So you can space it out. You can do whatever you want with it if you want to get a little creative. Simple. And then I'm going to create another text box. And I know when you first start working with this, for me anyways, I would get like so frustrated because I'm like, where'd my text box go? Like as you're picking out things, it just tends to disappear for me anyways. So then I'm just clicking back on the screen. What the heck just happened? Oh, there it is. See what I mean? Simple. I needed a change. And maybe that's not your reasoning. Like, why did I pick network marketing? Simple. It was a great way to make extra money for my family. Simple. It was the community of people I needed, or you know what I mean? Like, you can make it be whatever you want. For me, it's like I'm following these people that are ridiculously successful. So I just want to copy like every single thing they do, which probably that could be a good or a bad thing because I need to just like be myself too, right? So I needed a change. Okay. So I forget what the font was on the other screen, but I can do, maybe I'll do something like cursive, and maybe I'll go back to like a different, maybe that same orange color. Oh, let's look at, okay, so this is a really cool thing too. And I've noticed this on, I think Instagram does it now too. Instead of you having to go out and pick things, if you notice at the bottom, it's already picked colors from the picture, or maybe colors that also would go with the picture, because I definitely don't see that purple anywhere, but they're helping you pick colors that go well together. So that's kind of cool. I'll use that purple one just because it's fun. Okay. Oops. And then I could just go back in to make it bigger, but you can make it bigger just like using your fingers on the screen too. That's kind of cute. Those would be like great Halloween colors. Okay. So that's how you do the slides. I feel like this is going to be probably easier for you guys to do later, instead of me kind of saying like, okay, do this next, do this next, do this next, whatever. And like I said, I can take and like copy and paste my verbiage into a text or a messenger chat if you guys want me to. Just let me know if that's something that you want to do. But then you would go to the next slide and then start, whatever the next thing is. So let's see, like this. I see how I can literally just like click on it and then select all, copy. This is what I would do within my messenger. I don't think it saves the font though. I know I'm going fast right now. Bear with me. Just because I want to get to the next part and show you guys that. And then you could make that whatever. I like to switch up the font. That bold one though, that Rustica or whatever, that one's real, and you can move your margins too if you click on these little white these little white dots on the side. I like this orange font. It's called Rustico, for pictures if there's like a lot of things going on where I'm not wearing a solid color, because it really you can really read it well. Okay, so the next part that I want to get to, so say you're all through and you've got all your slides done, right? Then you want to upload them to Instagram, to your stories, right? For me, I have my Instagram stories and my Facebook stories linked. Some people would disagree with that. They say it's bad for your algorithm. You should do your stories in Instagram and then go over and do your stories in Facebook. For me, just with how crazy my life is with everything. I think you guys know, being a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling, whatever. For me, it just makes sense. I'm still signing up people. I'm still having success within my business. So that's up to you what you decide to do. But I will say I upload mine to my Instagram stories and then they automatically flow over to Facebook. So you're going to go up to this. What do we call this symbol? A less than sign? I don't know. You're going to go up there and then it's going to give you the option for page or story. I click on story. I think because I don't have the pro version, it's basically acting like I can't share this to Instagram. At this point, there's a way around that. So you're going to click on other apps. I mean, you could save these to your device and then you can go and grab them at any time on a specific album. For me, like the app already saves everything. So I'm not trying to take up double storage on my phone. So you're going to click on other apps. And then I think my phone's just already set to default to Instagram stories. If yours isn't, once you click it a couple times, it will just pop that up as your first option. And then it's going to open my Instagram app and then you're going to see your stories. I love that this specific template that I'm using has this background around it, because when you're creating stories, you want to keep in mind that there's going to be, all these options at the top and at the bottom that your viewers are going to see too. So this one, I don't really run into that problem unless I'm like right up to, the border at the top and the bottom. So you're going to go through, obviously these have nothing on them, but you can get to this last slide and then, you could maybe create a poll option, right? So keep that in mind when you're creating these stories in Unfold as well, that you might want to leave a spot available for a poll. So my options are always like, I'm ready. There's never no as an option. Like that's never going to be an option. It's either I'm ready or I have questions or whatever. I'm going to show you one more thing while we're in here, because I've had people ask me about this before too. So I would put this here. Now, if you don't like these colors, so you're like, those colors are messing up the aesthetic of my beautiful pictures, you can go into your emojis. And this is something I copied from Henning or Hastings, or I can't remember what her last name is, but if you go into, okay, you're going to go into your emojis on your phone, and then is that a recycle button at the bottom? Triangle? I don't know. You can click on this X. You can click on this check mark. And you can check on the squiggle. I don't know. I usually use the X's or the check marks. So yes would be maybe a double X. All right. And then obviously, like, okay, well, what, you could even have your last slide blank like this. So you could create 6 slides, and then you have a lot of room for your last slide as a blank one. Then you're going to go and you're going to type on Instagram instead of on your slide. So then you can always change this up to say something different. Maybe there's double, triple fast starts and you want to say like, grab $200 off and start my business or something. So I like to leave that blank spot to be able to like add different options later. So I'm ready. What is this font right now? Like, where's my font I usually use? Okay, I'm ready. I have questions. You can just play around with it till it looks the way you want it to. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to search for white arrows. And you can move these around. So maybe I want it to be like the thing is pointing at. Anyways, you get the point. So you can do, you can search for, if you want blue writing, blue arrows, whatever. And then once I press that next button, it's going to share all these to my Instagram stories. They're going to flow over to my Facebook stories. I always double check that they load up in the right order too. Because sometimes if your, Wi-Fi is wacky or something, they'll load out of order and then you'll have to reload them. I don't know if Instagram stories are still flipping upside down when you're going face to face, but if you use a filter that stops that, just another little tip. So that's how I do this specific story. I can go through some other ones as well where it's not the same. So I also have this one, Why Network Marketing. And this verbiage has not changed for me in a long time either. I will, once you get this in here, so like something like this, if you're like, girl, please message me that verbiage so you don't have to type it all out, I'm happy to. So this, I've had this same story that I utilize all the time. And then I'm literally just like going in, changing the pictures so that they're still like fresh and new, and it's not always the same, pictures over and over again. And sometimes I still will go back and get like teeny tiny baby pictures of Murphy and stuff, because part of the slide is, my story. Like I went back to work when he was 3 weeks old, and that was freaking devastating. So I have so many different slides and stuff that I do. This is one specifically that I stole from Lindsay Coggin, and see how at the bottom of this one I left room for a poll. So say I'm going to upload this to my story. Oh, here's another thing I want to show you guys too. I know this is a lot of information, so I'll stop recording at the end and then just open it up for questions. So say I want to use, say I want to use this. I left a spot at the bottom for me to create a poll. Sign me up. Heb. I have questions. So then you can just pop that down there. I will say that I've gotten better about trying not to put polls down in the bottom right hand corner, because this is where people are flipping through their stories, and sometimes I'll accidentally vote on your poll. So when people do vote on my polls now, I always send them a message and say like, hey, not sure if you meant to vote on my poll or not, would love to hook you up. If not, no biggie, how have you been? Just because if they didn't mean to, they won't respond at all. So then I've got in this slide series, right, like 5 million freaking before and after pictures, because I'm just, when I want to add a new before and after picture, I'm just going to that duplicate button that I showed you guys earlier. I can show you again. So like, obviously I'm not going to share all these freaking slides. So you can go in your stories and hold like long press on a picture and delete. Or you can go in your stories or in your unfold, and you can also upload just one picture at a time. So say I wanted to do that. I don't know what's happening. It's not working. Sometimes my phone is just a wackadoodle. Oh, maybe I had to press the Instagram button. Then I can just upload one part of that. So I will also say that I have different I have different ones in here. So I have this one, I have this one. I don't know whose pictures these ones are at the bottom. But you guys, there are albums in the Dream Team 2021 where people have posted their 3 steps. But if you ever need pics of your 3 steps with any specific flavor or fall or Christmas or anything, I actually have a whole album on my phone of just like the 3 steps. We have 190 pictures in here. So like sometimes the company will send emails, like they have an email for the samples, or maybe it's if you go click on your own Thrive sample website, you can grab these pictures. I actually don't really use these ones that much because I want them to look like this. Because that's how I want my stuff to look, comfy cozy. But these ones, like I created myself after seeing Ryan Van Gordon create something like this. I'm like, oh, I can do that myself. So if you ever want or need pics like this, just let me know. Like here, I've got Christmas pics, so I should probably update my stuff for, you know, the holiday season. But if you don't have an album on your phone created, I would do that because it's nice to just know, like you can go quick and grab them. I have pics of my car. I have albums with just like business selfies. I guess not very many. Maybe I should go in and move things around, but oh, here's some Christmas. What else? An unfold. I just want to make sure I'm covering everything. I was going to tell you something about the duplicate. I can't remember what I was going to say. Does anybody remember? Oh, I have this one too. I like this one. These ones are a little harder and take longer to work with. But if anyone wants me to create this specific one for them with their own pictures, you can send me pics and I'm happy to plug them in for you. I haven't used that one in a while. I feel like I was going to say something else about the duplicate button and I can't remember what I was going to say. Let me go look at this really quick. Maybe it'll jog my memory. I don't know, but at any given time, you can just click on that duplicate button and it'll create another slide that looks just like that. And even when it duplicates it, like if I duplicated this, it's going to duplicate it with no monthly fees, no auto ship requirements or whatever, but you can then just delete those boxes. So I'll just show you. So when you're deleting these boxes, you're just clicking on the X mark. If you create a slide you don't want, you can, oh, up here at the top, there's a trash button. You can trash the whole slide. Okay. Okay, was that helpful? Does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna check the chat now in case. Oh, I'm gonna stop recording so you guys can ask questions, not recording if you want to.